From his long duels with Nadal and the decade-long rivalry with Murray, Novak Djokovic has had a furious rivalry with just about everyone, including his childhood friends. The rivalry between Roger Federer versus Novak Djokovic started out being like a star versus an underdog. It might come as a surprise to some, but it was Djokovic, in fact, who was the underdog at the time. With the skill and seeming experience he plays with now, it may be. The two players have now faced each other around 50 times, and Djokovic is leading the head-to-head record with 27-23. It's kind of amazing to see how the rivalry has grown from almost nothing to one of the greatest ones. It had started in 2006 when the pair met for the first time. During this match, Federer prevailed in each of the first four encounters in straight sets. Now, at the time, Federer was a global icon on the one hand. Djokovic, on the other hand, was a gifted young man who was attempting to establish a name for himself on the tour. He defeated Federer for the first time at the age of 20 and participated in the 2007 Rogers Cup Championship game in Montreal.
First, I have to say good evening and thank you for coming and making a great atmosphere tonight on the court for us. It was fantastic, as it always is here in Dubai. Definitely one of my favorite tournaments, favorite places,
He became one of the first players who defeated the top three players in the world in the same tournament. This happened for the first time since Boris Becker's victories against number 1 Pete Sampras, number 2 Goran Ivanisevic, and number 3 Michael Stich in Stockholm in 1994. The contrasting styles of play make this rivalry so special. Federer is known for his elegant and graceful style, while Djokovic is more methodical and relies on his incredible defensive skills.
I don't know exactly to what degree his injury is, but you know, when you're feeling a little bit hurt, you know, you kind of go for your shots even more. And so I was a bit tense at the beginning.
While we're talking about entertaining matches, we can't forget some of the most awesome plays in the history of tennis. These plays always take place on the court when it's Djokovic versus Nadal. The rivalry between Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal has some of the fiercest competitions in all of tennis history. The two players have faced each other 58 times, with Djokovic leading the head-to-head record 30-28. They've met in some of the most epic matches in tennis, including the 2012 Australian Open final, which Djokovic won in a marathon 5-set battle that lasted over 5 hours.
The message really for any young tennis player around the world who is watching this now and dreaming to be here where Stefanos and I am, dream big, dare to dream, because
now that was one match you just shouldn't have missed. Nadal is known widely for his incredible athleticism and his ability to hit powerful topspin shots, while Djokovic is more methodical and relies on his incredible defensive skills. The battle of styles has produced some of the most jaw-dropping matches in recent years, as both players try their best to give the other their best. And I think the Spaniard would agree, as he's been reported to have said after their most recent match that he's aware of the history that the pair have had. The star then went on to say that the truth is that there have been a lot of important moments playing against Novak, and it's always a special match. Speaking of special matches Djokovic played, I can't forget the ones he played with the next tennis star on our list. The rivalry between Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray is one of the most underrated ones in all of tennis. These two athletes have squared off around 36 times, with Djokovic holding a 25-11 advantage in the head-to-head competition. In the 2013 Wimbledon final, Djokovic won against Murray in straight sets, making it one of their biggest matches. One of the biggest reasons for the pair's rivalry being so interesting to the crowd is because both the stars know each other off the court as well. They are reportedly childhood friends who've been playing against each other ever since. The duo have been rivals since their junior tennis day, with Murray often coming out on top in their early matches. But as Djokovic's career progressed, he began to gain the upper hand in their rivalry, ultimately winning the majority of their matches. Despite the intense competition between them, Djokovic and Murray have also maintained a great deal of mutual respect and admiration for one another. Imagine how good it must have been when the duo found out they were going to play professionally and that they could continue their matches on another level. Anyways, the players' dissimilar playing techniques are among the reasons why this rivalry is so unique in tennis. The British player is known for his extraordinary athleticism and his capacity to hit powerful shots from the baseline. On the other hand, Djokovic is more determined to counter these shots with his exceptional defensive abilities and determination. As the players attempt to force their own playing styles on one another, this clash has led to some of the most interesting matches in recent memory. With that in mind, don't think that the friendship between Djokovic and his rivals ends here. Novak Djokovic and Juan Martín del Potro have had a proper frenemy relationship on the tennis court. Although the stars have had their moments of competitiveness when it comes to tennis, the Serbian player has shown care for his rival. He's been reported to have said that he hopes Del Potro, who underwent a third knee operation on Wednesday, will be able to soon compete again. The first time the duo played against each other was back in 2007 at the Madrid Masters. Djokovic won that match in straight sets, but it was just the beginning of what will become a great rivalry. Over the next few years, they would face each other on numerous occasions, with both players winning their fair share of matches. When I recount one of the best matches between Djokovic and Del Potro, the semifinals of the 2012 London Olympics comes automatically to mind. It lasted nearly 5 hours and was said to be one of the greatest tennis matches of all time. I can vouch for that. In the end, Del Potro emerged victorious, winning 7-5 in the third set. It was a heartbreaking loss for Djokovic, who was hoping to win the gold medal for Serbia. The nearly decade-long rivalry was one of the most loved ones by fans. The competition between Djokovic and his next rival on the list can be counted as a long-lasting one as well. The Rogers Cup encounter in 2006 marked the beginning of the rivalry between Djokovic and Stan Wawrinka. Little did Djokovic know that he had just begun a rivalry that would last for years to come when he won that match. Their succeeding encounter took place in 2013 at the Australian Open, where Djokovic was the reigning champion. Wawrinka, however, had other ideas, and in a thrilling 5-set match, he pulled off a surprising upset to defeat the Serbian. Trust me, guys, it was amazing. The fact that Wawrinka had finally proven he was capable of defeating Djokovic on the greatest platform marked a significant turning point in their rivalry. With each player pushing the other to their limits, their matches have produced some of the most memorable moments in recent years. Tennis fans around the world are eagerly awaiting their next encounter, and they aren't just waiting for Djokovic and Wawrinka's match. On the tennis court, Wilfried Tsonga and Novak Djokovic have an entertaining but mainly one-sided rivalry, and fans have been anticipating their reunion ever since. The pair have had 23 encounters now, with 17 victories going to the Serb. But it ain't so one-sided as it looks. Tsonga has won the first set 4 times, but sadly choked in the remaining sets. But the next 5 encounters were brutal, as Tsonga took his rival for a spin, winning 5 times back-to-back. The lethal 5-set domination in the 2010 Australian Open was one to watch. The feud came to a rather unceremonious end when Tsonga's injuries dulled his edge, and today he is ranked 260th in the world. Well, there you have it, Novak Djokovic's most fierce rivalries.